Hey everyone, welcome back. Our last guest is a poet whose words shed light on important issues and beautifully captures the essence of urban life. His heartfelt verses skillfully construct tales of love, resilience, and personal growth. Everyone, please welcome poet O'Shea Watson. Hey,
Hi,
welcome. This is a wonderful conclusion to today's episode,
I think so too.
right?
Yeah,
Because here we've been discussing resilience, right? We've
definitely.
been discussing dismantling. We've been discussing the urban community, which is a big thing for me because, well, we're representing the urban community, and here you are living into that possibility as well through your words of creation, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with when you realized that you were a poet.
It's a funny story actually, right? My mother is a very talented person, I like to say. When I was young, I had an assignment to start writing like poems and start writing like something to perform. I was like, Mommy, help me. I don't know what to do. And she sat there with me for maybe a day or so, and we wrote 6 solid poems. And then I guess it was just from that moment I felt like that was me, my form of expression.
How old were you?
I was 11.
11.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so mommy helped you,
Mhm.
I guess, set it up.
Yeah.
And then from there, you took off.
I took off a bit later because I still had crippling stage fright. I was very afraid of being on stage, of writing, performing, very like nervous. I didn't really start coming into my own until I would say high school, college.
And so you really identify as a performance poet.
Now, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Which we're going to give you guys a taste of it later. So, no, you just stick right there, okay? But in your development, right? And because I think poetry is it's this insightful way of perceiving
Yeah.
situations, right? And so, as you developed, what did you start discovering about yourself?
Me, I'm an avid person of the community. I've spent a lot of time developing my own community, developing everywhere I've been. I've started setting pantries and I've done a lot of work. And one thing that I've noticed in of myself and with everybody that I work with is mental health is not like a thing that we prioritize. And as I was writing, I felt that being vulnerable myself as a young man and presenting myself before people in my most vulnerable state was going to be my method of communicating to people and saying it's okay to feel things, it's okay to be who you are, you know.
I love that you're also bringing up mental health, and I feel like we just can't talk about it enough, and I say talk about it from the perspective of opening up that consciousness so that whomever may be watching is not really honed in on the negative aspect of it, but more so the awareness of it and understanding that we're all in this together.
Exactly.
And so the ones such as yourself, right, as a poet, you're actually providing remedy through your sharing.
Yes, that's what I hope to do a lot of the time. Um, Recently, like some of my friends, they've been going through their own things. I sit down with them and I try and like they help me, and afterwards they're like, this helped me. It's helped me get through what I'm getting through. It's like I'm not alone.
So
If that
when you
makes sense.
say they've been going through their own things, right? And you know, we don't have to identify this individual or individuals, but I just would like an idea of what that common thread is, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're writing about it, there's something that's relatable. So I'm very curious to know like what those conversations entail.
A lot of it is about like the future. Like a lot of my friends that they don't see where their future is going. They don't. It looking more and more bleak as the days goes on. They're frustrated. They have to take care of their families. Like as people are getting older and we're getting older, it's becoming more our responsibility to take care of those who take care of us. So it's just having that weight on our shoulders. It's getting for a lot of people that I know, it's heavy. And so while I'm in that space with them, we're just laying everything bare. We're being vulnerable, helping each other out. Just knowing that there's somebody there that may not be with me through the entire thing, but is still understanding what I'm going through is helpful.
Right. So, I'm picking up is
Yeah.
how important it is to really share and talk about it and feel have a group or an individual to discuss these things so that you can release it,
Yeah,
right? We were just having a conversation prior to this segment about mind, body, spirit, and they all go hand in hand,
definitely.
right? And so I admire the fact that you're feeling okay with like just being transparent about like, you know what, these are the conversations we're having, and it's getting a little too heavy for us. And so through your art form, you're able to almost self therapize.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I'm. It's scary, but healing is not something that can be done without risking a little bit. If you want to be a complete person, you have to be able to say, I'm not okay, and this is what's happening to me. And when I'm performing, that's what I try and portray. Like I've gone through things, you're going through things, and if you can relate to what I'm saying, then we can share this moment together.
So you had mentioned, right? So I know you participate a lot in community advocacy, right? And
Hmm.
so how do you define community advocacy aside from like working in the pantries? I think volunteer work is so important, and I think everybody should exercise it because it does instill this sense of humility and belonging and understanding that we're all in this together. So
Yeah.
aside from volunteering at the pantry and so forth, how else would you identify community advocacy?
In its simplest form, being a member of the community is a simple acts of kindness. As long as we can be kind together in the space that we share, then only positive things can come from that.
Simple acts of kindness,
Yes.
right? And so what does that look like?
Um, Knock on your neighbor's door, checking on them, maybe giving some extra food to them. If you have extra, give. If you don't, then you should feel safe enough to ask. Having at least resources there to be able to help you.
And how about just taking a breath before reacting?
Yes, a hundred
Because
percent.
that's the issue we have here in New York.
We're very reactive. Very
Yes.
reactive. Um, Patience the is the best virtue. I like to say, and exhaustion hits very slowly. And before you realize it, you're tired. You're overwhelmed. You don't tend to see the way that you're reacting to a lot of situations. So taking a step back at every moment of the day and saying, how do I feel? And am I going to react appropriately to the situation is what I like to think is the best way.
Thank you for sharing such insight, O'Shea Watson. Don't go anywhere because when we return, O'Shea is going to perform for us after the break, and you don't want to miss that.